Hi, I'm David McGinnis, and this is Deep Dive Worship. Deep Dive Worship is a podcast with a mission to explore creative works that bring honor and glory to God. Let's dive in. I sat down with my good friend Del Huntington to enjoy a good cup of coffee and to talk about the classic hymn, Precious Lord, Take My Hand, written in 1932 by the man known as the father of gospel music, Thomas Dorsey.
As a teenager and as a young kid, I was really into swing and big band music. So I had albums by a lot of the big band leaders like Glenn Miller. Played a lot of In the Mood. I liked his music. I had Artie Shaw. Then later I had moved down here to Oregon, and I became aware that there was a TV show coming on about a gentleman called Tommy Dorsey, an African-American born in around, I think he's born in 1899. And they called him the father of gospel music. It was a story of a gentleman, Tommy Dorsey, who was, many people consider responsible for bringing a lot of black gospel music into the church around probably 1920s to 1930s. He became also an evangelist and a preacher. His wife, who had been with him while he was still playing the blues and jazz, later became pregnant and she was about to give birth while he was away playing at some revival, I believe it was. And while he was there, he got a telegram that his wife was ill. He needed to come home quickly. Mm-hmm. I think you even have a quote. I don't know if
I do. I have a quote. It's from Tommy Dorsey. He says, back in 1932, I was 32 years old and a fairly new husband. My wife, Nettie, and I were living in a little apartment on Chicago's south side. And one hot August afternoon, I had to go to St. Louis, where I was to be the featured soloist at a large revival meeting. I didn't want to go, and Nettie was in the last month of pregnancy with our first child, but a lot of people were expecting me in St. Louis. In the steaming St. Louis heat, the crowd called on me to sing again and again. When I finally sat down, a messenger boy ran up with a Western Union telegram, ripped open the envelope, pasted on the yellow sheet were the words, "Your wife just died." When I got back, I learned that Nettie had given birth to a boy. I swung between grief and joy, yet that night, the baby died. I buried Nettie and our little boy together in the same casket. Then I fell apart. For days, I closeted myself. I felt that God had done me an injustice.
As I recall the story, he was again out preaching, and he was trying to, I think he was probably overcome with grief, but he sat at the piano. He was in his church, and he had a chord, and he said, "Lord." And there was a lady in the crowd, and she yelled out, "That's precious, Lord." And he, in the documentary, he says, I heard all these several amens. And he said, that must be it. And so immediately, just right there, he composed and wrote both the lyrics and the melody to Precious Lord, Take My Hand.
Yeah.
Lead me on, help me stand. I guess personally, I feel there's been times in my life of grief. And so the words are especially incredible to me. Mm-hmm. And the melody, I think music speaks to the heart.
Yeah, exactly.
And melody and composition and words, for me, they either blend or they don't. Mm-hmm. And for me, it talks to my heart. Mm. And so this is one of those songs where it all comes together.
Yeah.
The last stanza goes, "Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me home." Because there's times in our life we can't do it ourselves.
Right.
And so that song means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Precious Lord, lead me home. When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my life is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call. Hold my hand lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord.